Arslanbek Makhmudov.
Make sure y'all stay on point with the Puncher's Point. What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the Puncher's Point. Tyson Fury returns to boxing tomorrow. As of the time that I upload this day, I apologize. I know I'm late with this prediction episode. However, I told y'all that I was going to get it done. I told y'all I was going to upload it, and we are uploading it before this fight happens. Tyson Fury is going to be fighting Arslanbek Makhmudov. Now, in case y'all don't know who that is, let me tell you something about this guy. This guy is freakishly strong. I mean, we're talking about a guy who is Dakistan. That should tell you enough. I mean, you know how those guys are in Dakistan. He wrestles bears. Not shocking at all. But overall, this guy's got some power. However, there are a lot of weaknesses that Tyson Fury can take advantage of from this guy. And we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about how this guy is even tailor-made for Tyson Fury. However, we're also going to talk about how Makhmudov might be able to pull off the upset. And we're going to talk about both of these guys' strengths and weaknesses in a little bit. But this fight is going to be happening April 11th in England. Should be a good bounce back opportunity for Tyson Fury to get another heavyweight title shot. But with all of that being said, let's break them down. We're going to start off with the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. First strength I have for Tyson Fury, to me, I feel like it's always been one of his most important strengths, his range control, how he's able to keep distance in a ring. You see, the thing with Tyson Fury has always been the taller opponent. He's always been the bigger opponent. And every single time he steps into that ring, he shows that. I mean, the only guy who really could match the height that he had was either Deontay Wilder or Vladimir Klitschko. But even then, it still wasn't enough. Tyson Fury, I mean, we're talking about a guy who's 6'9", 275, 280 pounds, sometimes 280 plus. But that range control is what makes him such a good boxer. That range control is what has made him a future first ballot Hall of Famer in boxing. He uses that jab very efficiently too, and that goes with the range. He's very good at using that flick jab. He's very good at using that range to cover an opponent's face. He's very good at using that range to force opponents to fight their way onto the inside, and then he's also really good when it comes to counterpunching those types of opponents. His defense, I mean, if we're really going to talk about it, for the longest time until Usyk got into the heavyweight division, he was the best defensive fighter in heavyweight boxing for the last 10 years. And I look at Tyson Fury and I look at the defense that he has. I mean, we could talk about the head movement when he's in the corner. We can talk about the range control. We could talk about the footwork. Tyson Fury, for a guy who is 280 pounds, that guy's got some serious footwork. That guy's got some serious head move. He's got some serious defense. For a guy who is 6'9", a lot of these guys in the heavyweight division don't have that type of defense, especially with the height and the size that he has. So overall, Tyson Fury, that defense has always been a big strength of his as well. It's always been a strength that Tyson Fury can rely on. He's always relied on that range control, that jab, and that defense. One of my favorite combinations from Tyson Fury, it's actually the jab and the straight right combo. He loves that straight right. If you look at that combo has been nothing but bread and butter for Tyson Fury. It usually works almost all the time. He'll start off with a little flick jab, and then he'll come over with an overhand right, or he'll come over with a straight right. And a lot of the times he ends up clipping those opponents. He did a lot to Deontay Wilder. He had success against Vladimir Klitschko. He had success against Usyk a little bit as well. That combination that Tyson Fury throws has knocked down a lot of guys. It's probably his favorite combination, if we're going to be honest. Punch selection is set up. The way he sets up punches as well, it's actually pretty impressive. The thing about Tyson Fury, what I like about his punch selection and the way he sets up punches is he doesn't throw them right away. He kind of waits for the perfect moment. And a lot of the times that perfect moment, it's usually when an opponent doesn't expect it. So, for example, opponents will try to fight onto the inside. And once they get to the inside, he'll entertain it for maybe a couple seconds, and then he'll throw an uppercut. And all of a sudden, they get rocked. Or if they're on the outside and he clips them with that overhand right, they're covering their head. They leave the body wide open. He'll hit them with a nice little body shot, and down to the ground they go. Tyson Fury is very good when it comes to that punch selection. He's very good when it comes to setting up those punches as well. He lures opponents in. I mean, how many times have you seen him tease guys and they engage and they fall for it, and he lures them in. He gets them on the ropes, or he'll counterpunch them, or he'll get them on the ground. There's been a lot of times where Tyson Fury has set up a lot of the attacks that he's had. I really do like his left hook. I love how he uses it. Sometimes he uses it as a check, but other times he's very good at using it to get out of harm's way as well. Tyson Fury is very good when it comes to using that left hook when he's against the ropes or he's in the corner. Tyson Fury is very good at using that left hook. He's very good at using it to get out of situations, to get out of corners, to get out of holes that he's put himself in. He uses those left hooks, and he uses them as check hooks, but he also uses them to get away from certain situations. And a lot of guys, they'll have him cornered or have him against the ropes and they think they got him, but he'll move a little bit, or he'll throw that left hook and he'll move out the way. And I really like how he uses it. Sometimes he'll hurt guys and then he'll finish it off with a left hook as well. Tyson Fury's got a lot of punch. He's got a lot of tools in the toolbox, especially his uppercuts. The uppercut is a very underrated tool. I would say that's probably like his third or fourth best punch. The uppercut actually is the punch that he knocked out Dillian Whyte with. He hit Dillian Whyte with that uppercut, and Dillian Whyte went down. The uppercut is a punch that Tyson Fury utilizes when he needs to utilize it. So you're not going to see it a lot, but if he ends up getting into situations where he has to fight onto the inside, expect that uppercut to be thrown. Endurance. I mean, he's got great endurance. I mean, we're talking about a guy who can go from round 1 all the way to round 12, not break a sweat. Tyson Fury is that guy. He is light on his feet. Again, I talked about his footwork. I talked about how fluid he is in the ring, how effortless it seems that he moves around that ring. So I will say he is very light on his feet. And I think that's a skill that not a lot of heavyweights have, besides maybe like Oleksandr Usyk. Feints and honestly the twitches. He has feints, level changes, and twitches. The thing with him, and he used it a lot with Deontay Wilder, he would kind of do some things where he would twitch and Deontay Wilder would react to it, or he would throw some feints, or he would throw a decoy punch and his opponents would react to it. He'd clip him with a different punch. He'd hit Deontay Wilder with a punch, and Deontay Wilder would start backpedaling, and then he hit him to the body. That's the punch selection going into those feints, the decoys, the twitches. He's very good at forcing his opponents to make their own mental errors, make their own mistakes. And Tyson Fury has always been that type of guy to win the mental edge. He's got heart. I mean, if we're going to keep it honest, he's got heart. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's been knocked down multiple times throughout his career by guys who are no names, by guys who have a huge name in boxing. He's been knocked down a lot. He's been clipped by some heavy shots, and he's always gotten back up. That's the thing. He's gotten knocked down multiple times in his career. I want to say it's been about 8 or 9 times now in his entire career, and he's never been knocked out. He's got heart. He's always going to get off that canvas no matter what. When Deontay Wilder knocked him out in the 12th round, I thought that was it. Anybody else would have been down for the count. And he rose back up, and he continued to fight throughout the rest of the 12th round. So Tyson Fury does have heart. Say what you want about him. You don't have to like him. You don't have to love him. I don't like him. I don't love him, but he's got heart. Sometimes he'll even switch stances, and I saw it in the Otto Wallin fight. He's really good when it comes to switching stances, and that left hand, when he switches stances, is just as powerful as that right hand. He's very good when it comes to those straights. Obviously, the right straight is that punch for him. But when he switches stances, you got to be aware of that left as well. When he switches stances, he's very good at confusing opponents. He's very good at turning the tables on them. And if he has to switch stances, he will. And then last but not least, he's good at fighting in the corner. He'll even put himself in the corner at times, and you'll see him. He even tried to tease Usyk. Usyk didn't fall in for it, and that's because Usyk is just a smart fighter. I'm not saying all the other guys that he fought aren't smart. Usyk's intelligence is on a different level when it comes to fight IQ. But there'll be many times where he's in that corner. He'll put himself in that corner, and guys will fall for the bait. They'll go in, and they'll try to throw all these punches and gas themselves out, and he'll slip all of them, move out the way, clip him with something, clip him with some type of counter, and then back out the way. So overall, Tyson Fury, if we had to put all the strengths together, I mean, we're talking about a big opponent who can move around the ring. We're talking about a guy who can control range, and when needed to, he can throw those types of power punches. However, he also got some weaknesses as well. He gets careless onto the inside. I like seeing Tyson Fury on the outside. Sometimes when he's forced onto the inside, like I said, sometimes it doesn't work out for him. Like I said, that's when he resorts to the uppercuts. However, when he's on the inside, that's also when he starts dropping his guard. That's also when he starts getting wild. It's also when he tries to hug and lean on people and do all those types of things. His body is open all the time. I mean, if you want to get free punches on Fury, tag him to the body, jab to the body. That's all you got to do. Those are free punches that you can land on Tyson Fury, and those are punches that could potentially win you some close rounds as well. Inside hooks, specifically the left later on in his career, earlier in his career was the right hook. Earlier in his career, he would get clipped with that right hook a lot. And I think he fixed that. I think he tweaked it up. And then later on in his career, it would be the left hook. But those hooks, those inside hooks, the ones that he doesn't see coming, the ones that are down below that he does not see coming and he drops his guard, he tends to backpedal when pressured. When he is pressured, he tends to backpedal, put himself up against those ropes. And I like him in the corner, but I don't like him on those ropes. Tyson Fury, if a guy starts working his way onto the inside, Tyson Fury will back up. If a guy starts landing a straight on him, he will back up. That is Tyson Fury's retreat. He backs up. He backpedals. And when he does that, Tyson Fury ends up putting himself on his heels, and it makes it a rough night for him. You could tell when he's hurt or when you're getting the best of him because he'll start showboating. That's what he did with Oleksandr Usyk. He started showboating in the corner. Usyk was getting the best of him. He started showboating after Usyk would clip him. And then once you really start hurting him, he shuts it up immediately. I do say sometimes that showboating gets him into a lot of trouble as well. He tends to kind of underestimate his opponents. And when he does that, I feel like that's when his opponents really start to have success against him. I'm going to give you a perfect one. The Steve Cunningham fight. In the Steve Cunningham fight, he did things like when they went to go touch gloves, he would smack Steve Cunningham's glove down, or he would push him after the round was over into the corner. Steve Cunningham kept his composure, clipped him with a nasty hook, and dropped him down. From that point on, Tyson Fury locked in. So I will say, sometimes he showboats a little too much. Sometimes he underestimates his opponents, and that is what gets Tyson Fury into a lot of holes. Level changes. A lot of the times he gets clipped and he gets rocked, it's due to level changes. They'll go to the body, he'll drop his guard, clip him with a hook, Tyson Fury's rocked. Chin questions. I do question his chin. He's been knocked down more than 8 times in his career. I know that for a fact. I do question that chin of his. Again, who knows what that Deontay Wilder trilogy did to him. Deontay Wilder knocked him down 4 times in that entire trilogy. He got knocked down by Usyk. Not really a knockdown, but he got hurt by Usyk. You got to think about the Steve Cunningham hook, and you got to think about the knockdowns that he suffered earlier in his career. Tyson Fury has been knocked down a lot of times. That chin has been in question. He's always gotten back up. Like I said, he's got heart. But where is that chin now? He's another guy that falls for feints as well. Tyson Fury is that type of guy. He will fall for feints, and those are feints that Tyson Fury tends to drop his guard on. These are feints that he tends to create openings on himself for. A lot of the errors that Tyson Fury makes, it's on him. It's really not something that his opponents are doing. Don't get me wrong, Usyk opened up a lot of holes. Deontay Wilder opened up a lot of holes. But a lot of the times, Tyson Fury is creating those errors himself. And I think that's where the weaknesses kick in. So as far as an overall breakdown for Tyson Fury, that's what I would give it. Again, great size, great ability for his size. He's got the power, but sometimes he makes those mental errors, and sometimes he gets too careless, and he ends up putting himself in situations that he shouldn't put himself in. And so now we go to the challenger, Arslanbek Makhmudov. Now, a lot of y'all are going to be unfamiliar with this guy. He's had some decent fights. He had a loss to Ajit Kabayel. He's got 2 losses on his career, both by TKO. So we're going to talk about how Tyson Fury can take advantage of that. But we're going to also talk about why he might be a dangerous opponent for Tyson Fury coming back. First off, monster hooks. I mean, you heard me talk about some of the weaknesses that Tyson Fury has. Hooks. He's always gotten knocked down by hooks. That's been the thing with Tyson Fury. This guy's hooks are monstrous. That's what he's going to lean to. And if he clips one of those monstrous hooks on Tyson Fury, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyson Fury falls down. Again, this guy's got the power to knock out Tyson Fury. I'm saying that right now. I'm not saying it could happen. Again, you have to wait to the end to get my final prediction, but he's got the power to do it for sure. The punch I would point to is the straight right. Usually he'll rock the guys with the left hook, or he'll rock the guys with the straight right, and he'll finish it off with the other punch. But the straight right has been a punch that I think works on a lot of the opponents that he's fought, and I think it's a punch that he could utilize against Tyson Fury. I think it's a punch that he could utilize as a feint, or he can utilize it as a decoy. to kind of set up that hook. But a lot of the times he'll get his opponents in the corner, or he'll put the pressure on his opponents, and then he'll start landing that right hand. And then once he starts landing that straight right, the hooks follow up with it, or vice versa. Once he starts landing those hooks, the straight right will follow off as well. I talked about how suffocating his pressure is. A lot of guys can't back him up. Ajit Caballel did a great job against him. We're going to talk about some of the weaknesses that Caballel used against him. But what I will say is his pressure is suffocating. It is. And a lot of the opponents that he's faced, he was able to get them up against the ropes. He was able to get them in the corner. He was able to work them and basically put them in situations that they couldn't respond, where they had to be in the defensive mode, where they had to kind of curl up and kind of survive. He's done that a lot with a lot of opponents. Grueling power. I mean, like I said, this guy's wrestled bears. This guy has the power to knock out Tyson Fury if he clips him with one of those hooks. But the question is he going to be able to have a lot of success by clipping him with one of those hooks? He has a nice uppercut. Again, I would say that's his third punch. Another punch that he kind of goes to when needed. When he gets his opponents hurt and they're trying to stay low, he'll start throwing that uppercut a little bit. He's a good counterpuncher. I will say that as well. There's been a lot of times where opponents have tried to bring the fight to him and they miss, and he'd clip them with like a check hook, or he'd clip them with a right straight. He's very good when it comes to those counterpunches, and I think that he's not going to have a lot of moments to clip Tyson Fury with counterpunches, but I think that if he finds a opportunity to clip Tyson Fury with one of those counterpunches, I think he should take advantage of it full send. Now, as far as some of the weaknesses with Makhmudov, like I said, he's been knocked out twice. So what are those weaknesses? He's too wild. That's the first thing. He's too wild of a fighter. Sometimes I don't think he really has boxing fundamentals. So just kind of throw some of those hooks and kind of throw them to the wind and hope that one of them lands. Sometimes he's very uncoordinated. Sometimes there's been a lot of times where he'll throw a hook or he'll miss and he'll get caught up in the ropes, or his footwork is pretty flat and he's not following up with some of the opponents that are faster than him. He struggles with guys who got fast hands. Ajit Caballel had fast hands, quick hands. Ajit Caballel didn't let him have his moments. Ajit Caballel would just go in there, hit him with some 2-3 punch combinations and slip out the way. And Ajit Caballel did a very good job of not giving Makhmudov a lot of time to have opportunities to have success against him. Makhmudov, he looked lost against Caballel. Caballel knocked him down multiple times. I think he knocked him down like 3 times, ended up hurting him a bunch of times. But a lot of that started off with just the jab, just moving around, cutting angles, slipping the punches that Makhmudov would throw, not putting himself in situations where Makhmudov can thrive. So I think that there's been times where guys who are too quick for him or too fast for him end up getting the best of him. His guard is open down the middle. And if we're going to point to a punch that really will land for Tyson Fury, it's that straight right. That straight right will land for Tyson Fury because his guard is too wide up top. And Ajit Caballel, that was the punch that he was relying on, was that straight right. And that straight right was working. It was getting through. It was hurting Makhmudov. And then once he landed the straight right, he would start targeting the body, and he hurt Makhmudov twice to the body as well, which is another weakness. He's got openings to his bodies as well. Makhmudov is not a good defensive fighter. I'm not bagging him, but he's not a good defensive fighter. He's a good counterpuncher, but not a good defensive fighter. And I think that he has moments where his defense looks decent, but a lot of the times, usually it's just his pressure and it's just his power, and it's his opponents trying to react to a last resort to get this guy out of here. But his defense isn't the best, and it starts with that guard. That guard is too wide, but then it opens up to the body, and then he ends up getting hurt to the body, and he ends up leaving that open as well. And again, once you break that guard, the defense crumbles with it. Uppercuts on the inside, that's another thing that has been susceptible to him, is those uppercuts on the inside. When you get into inside exchanges, the uppercut is going to be a punch that I think Tyson Fury will land on him. Like I said, Tyson Fury only resorts to that uppercut when he needs to. And if it comes down to inside exchanges, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyson Fury lands one of those uppercuts. Sometimes he's undisciplined. I feel like sometimes he tries to wrestle his opponents instead of boxing them. You'll see him kind of push them up against the ropes. You'll see he'll get a little too over aggressive. And I think in a fight against Tyson Fury, a guy who can seriously frustrate him, I think there will be moments where he gets a little undisciplined. Maybe the ref will take a point away from him. I think that's something he has to shy away from. He got to keep his composure, but it's easier said than done. Tends to crumble under pressure. G. Caballero had him under a lot of pressure, and he fought another guy. I think his name was Vianello or something like that. He got him under a lot of pressure as well. And once he got him under that pressure, you started seeing Arslanbek crumble. He was on those ropes. He was trying to survive. He was in flight mode instead of fight mode. And when you can back him up, when you can put him up against those ropes, when you can hurt him, that's when you're going to start seeing Makhmudov start really crumbling under that pressure. That's when you're going to start seeing him taking knees, and you're going to start seeing him kind of giving up on some exchanges. And then last but not least, he doesn't use his jab enough. I think he's got a good jab. He doesn't use it enough. He relies too much on those power punches, too much on those wild punches, and that's what puts him into some trouble against the two opponents that's TKO'd him. One of the TKOs, it was a TKO, got him down 3 times, game over. The other TKO that happened before that, his first loss, it was because his opponent started busting up his eye, kept targeting that eye, and it got swollen to the point where Arslanbek couldn't continue. But I think Makhmudov is going to have to use that jab a lot more against somebody like Tyson Fury. Again, you're close to his size. You're close to his height. So use that jab against him. But he doesn't use it enough in a lot of his fights. I think if he could use that jab a lot more, I think we're going to see Makhmudov have a lot more moments against Tyson Fury. So we go to the keys to victory. What are the keys to victory for Tyson Fury? Well, if I had to point to the first key to victory for Tyson Fury, box on the outside. Do not get into inside exchanges with this guy. Look, I know you got the uppercut. I know the uppercut is one of his weaknesses, but don't get into inside exchanges with Makhmudov. Box on the outside. That's how you're going to beat him. That's how you're going to frustrate him, and that's how you're going to have one of your best performances. Tyson Fury is the best when he's boxing on the outside and he's not entertaining these punch for punch exchanges, when he's not entertaining going up against the ropes or going up against the corner. Tyson Fury is the best when he's jabbing, he's sticking and moving, he's cutting angles, and he's boxing onto the outside. So I need Tyson Fury to stay on the outside in this fight. Look for the right straight. It's going to be open. He's going to have that guard wide open. And I don't want Tyson Fury to consistently throw it or constantly throw it. I want him to throw it when the moments matter, when the moments count, when it makes sense. That's when Tyson Fury should be throwing those right straights. And then last but not least, stick the jab and chain your punches together. Don't just stick him with a jab. Hit him with a left hook. Hit him with a right straight. Follow up your power punches with that jab, but stay on the outside while doing it. To me, those are the 3 keys to victory for Tyson Fury. I think if he does that, I think it's going to be a pretty quick night and a pretty easy night for Tyson Fury. Now, what are the keys to victory for Makhmudov? Like I said, they're going to be there. There's going to be some keys to victory for Makhmudov. And what are those going to be? First off, test Tyson Fury's chin with hooks. He can't take hooks. He's been out of the game for a decent amount of time. Test his chin. Simple as that. Test his chin instantly, right away. Bring the pressure to him. Hit him when he drops his guard. Really test him. I think you got to have to make it ugly at times against Tyson Fury. I think that's how Makhmudov is going to beat him. But you got to test that chin. Keep targeting the body. Like I said, free punches to Tyson Fury's body. Just stick that jab to his body. Again, utilize that jab. Be consistent with that jab. He has a good jab. He just has to be consistent with it. And then last but not least, use feints and level changes. Force those openings against Tyson Fury. Force Tyson Fury to make those mental errors. Again, jab him to the body, but also pretend you're going to the body and then come up with a hook. Clip Tyson Fury. I said he's got the power to knock him out, but in order to do that, he's going to have to set up some of those knockouts, and he's going to have to force Tyson Fury to make some mental errors. And I think that's the way that Makhmudov is going to win this fight. I think you're going to have to make it ugly at times, but I also think you're going to have to create some openings like Deontay Wilder did. I think you're also going to have to use feints and level changes like Oleksandr Usyk did. And I think if you can do that, I think you could potentially hurt Tyson Fury and you could potentially walk away with a win. Now, as far as betting odds, what are the betting odds for this fight? Well, Tyson Fury is the favorite. It's not a shocker at minus 700, while Makhmudov is the underdog at plus 510. These odds are presented by FanDuel, and they are subjected to change as the fight gets closer. Now, As far as my final prediction, what do I think is going to happen? Tyson Fury is going to go in there. I think he's going to have a pretty easy night against Makhmudov. And it's not because I think Makhmudov is not a good fighter or anything like that. Makhmudov is tailor-made for Tyson Fury. And Makhmudov's got strengths that he could take advantage of against Tyson Fury. However, the reason why I think it's going to be such an easy night is because all the weaknesses that Makhmudov has, it's tailor-made for somebody like Tyson Fury. I mean, we're talking about a guy who struggles with guys with fast hands, Tyson Fury. We're talking about a guy who can't keep up with guys with quick footwork. That's Tyson Fury. We're going to talk about guys who can target the body, Tyson Fury. Guys who have uppercuts, Tyson Fury. He's undisciplined. Tyson Fury will frustrate him in that fight. I think Makhmudov could have potential to knock him down in this fight. I think he could have potential to hurt Tyson Fury in this fight. I think Makhmudov will maybe have one moment where he hurts Tyson Fury in this fight. Maybe he knocks him down early. But even then, I think he's just going to dominate him. I could see this fight either being like Tyson Fury against Steve Cunningham, where Steve Cunningham had that great flash knockdown, and then Tyson Fury got back up and just dominated him. Or I could see it being like Fury Wilder 2, where Fury just controlled the entire fight. I think he's got one last gasp at a heavyweight title opportunity. I think that he's going to go into this fight with Makhmudov, and I think he's going to show that there's really not a lot of ring rust. I think he's going to go in there and he's going to show that he's coming for that belt. I got Tyson Fury winning by 8th round TKO. I don't think that he's going to do it as quickly as G Caballero did, because G Caballero got him out of there, I think, in the 4th round. But I think he'll get him out of there in the 8th round. I think he's going to make it an entertaining fight. I think he's going to give the fans an entertaining fight. It is in England. It is in his home country. So I think that Tyson Fury is going to go in there and put on an entertaining fight for those fans. But I think he's going to get him out of there by the 8th round. I'm going to go 8th round knockout. I think that, or TKO. I think he's going to have a couple flash knockdowns against Makhmudov, and I think eventually the ref is just going to stop this fight. So I got Tyson Fury by 8th round TKO. And with all that being said, this fight is going to be on Netflix. We got Tyson Fury versus Arslanbek Makhmudov. Like I said, Tyson Fury, he's making one last attempt at a heavyweight title shot. However, Makhmudov is a very dangerous opponent to have coming back from boxing after over a year layoff. The question is, if Tyson Fury wins this fight, will he get his rematch against Oleksandr Usyk? Will he challenge Daniel Dubois? There's going to be a lot of things that could happen. Maybe Fabio Wardley beats Daniel Dubois and he goes and challenges Wardley. Who knows? But overall, the heavyweight division is getting pretty interesting. Now with Deontay Wilder coming back and putting himself into that picture. Now with Anthony Joshua trying to make a comeback in the heavyweight division. Tyson Fury is making a comeback. Oleksandr Usyk is still that dominant champion. Daniel Dubois has a title, and he's going up against guys like Fabio Wardley. It's going to be a very fun time for the heavyweight division. I can't wait to see what happens. But overall, Tyson Fury, Makhmudov, April 11th. As the day I'm recording it, it is April 10th. I apologize for the late upload. Again, your boy is going to get a lot better with it. Make sure y'all continue to tune into the Puncher's Point. Make sure y'all continue to tune into us on the YouTube, on the podcast platform, the social media platforms as well. Again, make sure y'all continue to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, do all of those great things. And last but not least, if you want more in-depth analysis, fight breakdowns, post-fight breakdowns, you want more of the Puncher's Point, make sure y'all continue to stay on point with the Puncher's Point.